Hello, champs. Hello, commerce champs. How are you all? Hello, Shobha. How are you? Yes, tell me where are you joining from? Yeah, okay, India. Where from India? Delhi. Okay. Welcome to the live session. I hope you are doing well. All right. Tell me something. How many hours do you study in a day? Okay, 1 hour. All right. Okay. And how is your result usually? How is your result? If you study for 1 hour in a day, how do you perform in your test or in your exam? Okay, okay, okay. All right. All right. So today's live session is about that only, dear. Today I'll be telling you where do you make a mistake. Okay. So once you get to know where are you making the mistake and you correct it, it will be very helpful for you. All right. Okay. Okay, so just a brief introduction about myself. I am Dhaarna, and I have been teaching commerce subjects for over 2 decades now, and I have written multiple books in the commerce subjects only. Accountancy textbook I have written. Then I have written many support material for economics, accountancy again, and business studies. Okay, so and I am a spiritual person also who is into spirituality. So I try to follow my spiritual journey as well. All right. Anyway, so today's session is regarding the hello champs. Could you please mention your name, say a hi, or and which place are you joining from? Okay, so I was talking about the mistakes that children usually make and they do not get the result as per their expectation, even if they study. Okay, So the mistake number one that I should be focusing on is, children, you usually memorize the concept instead of understanding it. That is the first and the biggest mistake that a student make. All right. So, I mean, if I talk about the memorizing part, see, memorizing is important, but only for a few subjects. It's not for the accountancy. Okay. Maybe you can memorize the formula, or maybe you can memorize the rule. Okay. In accounting. But then, understanding is a very important aspect of it. Okay. If you do not understand, you'll not be able to apply it. If a question comes little turned and twisted, you again will get confused. Okay? So the point is that you should be understanding the concept rather than memorizing it. Once you have understood it, you will memorize it for sure. I mean, it will be there in your you will retain it in your mind. All right? So for example, if I say a journal entry, if I ask you what are the rules of journal entry for personal account, real account, or nominal account, children usually get confused. Okay, so why is it, why like if I talk about a personal account, why is it so that the rule is debit the receiver and credit the giver? Okay, it is because debit the receiver who is receiving something, you are going to debit that person. Okay, person, when I say a person, personal account, it is any person in life, or a real person, or a person which is known as an artificial person. For example, any organization, a bank, or maybe the any company. Okay, that is an artificial person, because artificial person is any institution, any organization. It has a separate legal identity in the eyes of law. That is why it is called the the personal account. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to debit the receiver and credit the giver. That is how the personal account is. All right. So see, understand, if you have understood it, it will be easier for you to apply it. Even if I slightly change the question, you will not get confused, because you have understood the concept. Then you will be able to apply it properly, even if the situation or a question is little turned and twisted. All right. Now, mistake number two that children usually make. Hello, hello, champ. May I know your name and where are you joining from? Okay, moving on. We have mistake number two, which is that students fear accountancy. I don't know why. See, children, accountancy is not a difficult subject at all. Okay, I'm not saying so because I teach it, I know every concept of it. I'm not saying it because of that. I also started from where you are right now. Okay, I started my accounting journey when I was in grade 11th, like you people are. All right, so it is only the understanding. Again, I see, again and again I'm focusing on the understanding part of it. Why is it so? Because once you have understood it, your roots means grade 11th, which is, I would say, is a foundation of a commerce journey, is a foundation of accountancy subject. Okay, so my roots were strong. I made sure that whatever subject I'm going to learn in my grade 11th, I should be focusing on it to the core. Okay, just remember it like the way when you were in your nursery, maybe KG nursery, you, what did you do? You started learning ABC, right? If ABC were not clear to you, would you be able to make a spelling, or even a sentence, or even a paragraph? No, right? This, for the same reason, similarly, if we are studying the new subjects, in grade 11th, it is very, very important for us to create a strong foundation of those subjects. Otherwise, our future journey will become difficult. Okay, so make sure that whatever you are learning it to the core with the understanding of the concept. All right. Now, mistake number two is, as I said, it is accountancy is not at all a difficult subject. Okay, the only part that you feel, why you feel it is difficult, is when you say that maybe sometimes when you learn a concept you're not attentive, or maybe somebody who is teaching you has not made it sure that the concept should be clear to you. That could also be a reason for it. Okay, so it's not that every teacher has a different way of teaching, but then it should be up to you that whatever you take from a teacher, you should make sure that whatever you are taking is 100%. Okay, you should give your 100%, ask questions again and again. If still the time it is not clear to you, you have to be very, very uh, confident about it. Okay, if a subject, if a topic is, you are confident about it, then nobody can beat you in that concept. So be very clear that whoever is teaching you, or if you are doing your self studies, you should make sure that whatever you are learning, you are getting 100% of it. All right, and that will solve your mistake number 2, that how you will make your subject easier for you. All right. Okay, hello, good morning. Good morning, champs. May I know where are you joining from? What's your name? Fatima Ali. Are you there, Fatima? All right, then. Mistake number 3. Children, what you do usually is you don't. Sometimes what happens is, when we understand a concept, we feel, oh wow, it is so easy. I will do it. There is no difficulty we are going to face. Okay, so we become very casual about it, but that is not the point. Okay, the point is accountancy, especially if I talk about it, is a practical subject, children. Okay, it's a practical subject, so what you have to do is you have to practice it daily. I'm not saying that you have to study it for hours and hours. No, not at all. That much is not needed. The only thing that is needed is, once you have understood a concept, you should be practicing it even for 1 hour of good practice is enough in a day. Okay, if you are practicing a concept for 1 hour with 100% focus, with 100% attention, then it will be a cakewalk for you. Okay, so the third mistake we have spoken about is that children usually don't practice subject, don't practice questions, enough questions from accountancy. So that is where the problem comes. So what you have to do is, at least 1 hour of regular practice is needed. Spend time, sit quietly with the subject, sit quietly with the question, focus, give your 100% to it, and try to solve it. And one more thing I would like to mention it here, children. When we are talking about the CBSE particularly, CBSE expects you to write everything in a way that is self explanatory. Okay, self explanatory, when I say, I mean that whatever you have written in your paper, anybody who reads it should be able to get it. Okay, it should not be the short form, it should not be missing of formats. It should be very clearly, very beautifully presented, and everything should be clearly mentioned. If I talk about the working notes, if I talk about the questions, if I talk about the formats, accounts, ledgers format, journal entries format, or any ledgers, especially ledger accounts that we make. Then the working notes, whatever calculations you do to solve a big question, that also should be clearly mentioned, so that anybody who is uh, reading your paper, any examiner should get impressed from what you have written, and then your purpose is solved. You'll get full marks. Okay. And should I tell you something? The research says 20 minutes of focused study is better than 5 hours of study before exam. And this is the reality, bacho. It's not that something I'm saying it just for the sake of it. It is scientifically proven. Okay. Why is it so? I'll tell you the reason. Now, when you are doing your regular studies, you do not have any stress in your mind. No fear of exam, no fear of judgment, okay, no fear of completing the syllabus. When you are studying a subject regularly, as it is going in the school, you are coming home, you are practicing it, you are understanding it, you are applying your knowledge. When you are doing it, so what is happening? You do not have any additional stress in your mind. You are very relaxed, your mind is very relaxed. And when you are doing your questions, you are doing it to the core. When you are focused and you are doing question, let's suppose you have planned that you are going to do 2 questions in a day, 2 long questions in a day. You do not have any other stress. You have that, okay, I have to finish my 2 questions. So what you will do? You will have all your attention in those 2 questions. You will apply your knowledge fully, and you'll try to finish your question. You'll try to solve your questions, right? So that quality study, whatever you are learning during that time, will retain in your mind forever. Rather than if you are planning to spend 5 hours just before the examination day, what will happen? You will have a lot of stress in your mind. Oh my god, I have to finish this, I have to finish that, there are so many things that I have to finish, tomorrow is my exam. You will be stressed so much, and you will not be able to pay your 100% attention to the concept. As a result, what will happen? When the next day you go to your examination hall, you'll get nervous, because that examination fear is always there when you are not 100% prepared. Okay, so your examination stress will uh, disturb you. And when you see the paper, even if you have done the questions on the particular topic that has come to your has come to your exam, what will happen? Your all the concepts that you have studied 5 hours during the previous day, get mixed up. Okay, you'll get confused. Oh, what to apply where, which concept is to be solved which way, all that will come to you. So what will happen? As a result of it, you are not able to perform it 100%. You are not able to give your 100% to your exam, and your examination will go for a toss. Correct? Yes. Just hi Bhavani, how are you doing? Which place are you joining from? Okay, so that's why, bacho, my suggestion to you is, even if you are practicing 20 minutes in a day, that 20 minutes should be to the core, 100% dedicated to your subject, be it accountancy, economics, business studies, or any other subject. Your focus, your attention should be 100% into the subject. Okay, and I think I would agree, you would all would agree if I say that 20 minutes of regular practice is better than 5 hours of preparation during the exam. How many of you resonate with it? Just show me a thumbs up. How many of you agree with me if I say that 20 minutes of regular study 20 minutes of regular studies is more better than 5 hours of studies during your, I mean, a day before your exam? How many of you resonate it with me? Say a hi or say a thumbs. Show me a thumbs up if you all agree with. Hello, champs. May I know your name, please? Where are you joining from? Okay, champs. So I was talking about the mistakes that children usually make, and they do not get the result as per their desire, as per what they expect. Okay. So we are on mistake number 4, which is that we usually ignore NCRT. Children, if I would say, if I say it in the CBSE specifically CBSE board, NCRT plays an important role. Okay, please keep that in mind. Don't ignore NCRT. We have several other help books. Okay, but then for every subject we have helping books. Like for example, we have T.S. Grewal, D.K. Goyal, and then P.C. Tulsian. Many books are there for accountancy. If I particularly talk about that, all the books are very very good. Okay, they all are very self explanatory. You can understand the concept very nicely even if you study it by yourself. But NCRT also plays an important role. So for any subject, be it accountancy, economics, business studies, I would suggest you that don't ignore doing NCRT, and especially when you are in grade 12th. If you are in grade 12th, NCRT you must do. Okay, it is with the inverted commas that practicing questions from the NCRT book is very very important. And if I say for a theoretical subject like economics or business studies, especially what you should do is all the points for the theoretical subject should come from the NCRT. Please keep that in mind. Okay, so NCRT, practice everything, understand everything from elsewhere. I'm not saying that, because NCRT has the main topics are very important, very given very nicely in the NCRT book, but it is not, the explanation part is little less. So for that, we usually what we do, we take help of the other books. Good enough, go ahead with the other books, no problem in that, but don't ignore the NCRT. Okay, because there is a quote that usually we say that CBSE loves NCRT language. Okay, so what is given in the NCRT book, the language especially, and especially for the theoretical subject, since accountancy is a practical subject, it also has theory in it. You must be knowing it. Accountancy has theory in it. Okay, so don't ignore that theory part in accountancy, and refer to NCRT for the theoretical aspect of it. Okay, and for economics and business studies, take the main points from the NCRT. Explanation you can take it from anywhere else. There is no issue in that. The points, the sub points, and the technical terms should be from the NCRT. That is what I am going to suggest you. Okay, now good morning, champs. Where are you joining from? Please mention your grade also. I would be happy to know about you. All right. Now let's focus on. So we have discussed 4 mistakes so far. Mistake number 1, that usually we memorize the concept instead of understanding it. So please just make sure that you understand a concept rather than memorizing it. Okay. Mistake number 2, that we have a fear, we have an apprehension in our mind that accountancy is a difficult subject, or economics is a difficult subject, or business studies is a difficult subject. It is not the way it is not the case, bacho. Okay, all the subjects, all the commerce subjects that you are new to, trust me, they are very easy, very logical. It resonates with your day to day life. If you understand it nicely, no, you will see, oh, this happens in our daily life. Why are we getting fear from it? Okay, that's a promise to you. If you try to understand it nicely, you will find it very interesting, because all the three subjects, they resonate with our day to day life. Okay. Then mistake number 3, that we usually do not practice daily. Even if we have understood the concept, we feel, oh, we will be able to do it during the exam time, or we'll spend a few hours just before the exam and we'll be able to do it. No, bacho, it's not the case. Okay, you have to give importance to all the subjects equally, and you have to practice them daily. Practice does not mean that you have to write it. Like for a theoretical subjects, it's not always that we write every time. No, but then we spend time and make our self notes. Self notes are very important. Okay, you would have known few students who do their self study, who do not, who pay attention in the school to their teachers, and they do not go for extra coaching. Okay, then also they score very nice marks. Their concepts are very strong. Why is it so? Because they have a habit of, firstly, when the teacher is teaching in the class, they are paying 200% attention to it. They are asking their doubts, clearing their doubts then and there. Coming home, they are making their self notes properly. And while making the notes, they are realizing that, oh, a few of the concepts they are not confident about. They go back to the teacher again the next day and they clear their doubts. And again, they come back and make their self notes. That is how it should be. Okay. For any, for that matter, any subject, if I would say, making notes, self notes, is a very good habit, Pacho. So I would suggest you to develop this habit from today itself. If you do not have such a habit, just make sure that you develop this habit starting from today itself. That will help you a lot. That's a promise to you. Okay. Then, mistake number 4. What we do usually is we ignore NCRT, which is again, it is not advisable to ignore NCRT. Do follow the NCRT terms, points, and write the explanation the way you want. Okay, it can be yours in your own words. All right then. Now moving on to the mistake number 5. What do we do, bacho? Mistake number 5 is we just skip the concept. Skip means, like if I particularly say for accountancy, we start with, what is the first step? We say that accountancy is a process of identifying, right? Identifying means we identify a financial business transaction which we have to record. And to do that, what is the rule that we follow is the B plus M rule. That means that particular transaction should be a business transaction and it should have a monetary value. So B stands for business transaction and M stands for monetary value. That is how we identify a financial transaction, right? Then after identification, what is the next thing that comes? Accounting is a process of identifying, then recording. So once we have identified a business transaction, what do? We record it. And what is the primary stage of recording a transaction is the journal entry part of it. Okay. And to pass a journal entry, what do? Hello champs. Please mention your name and just tell me from where are you joining from. Which grade are you in? Grade 11th or 12th? Okay. So moving on, what I generally say is, see, once you have identified, you are recording it by passing a journal entry, right? Again, when we are passing a journal entry, we have to understand a few rules to pass. Personal account, real account, nominal account. Rules should be clear, application should be clear. Okay. Then after that, what is the definition say? Process of identifying, recording, then categorizing. After journal entry, what is the next step that we do is we make the ledgers, okay? And in the ledgers we classify all the items. We make a separate account for every item and we record the relevant journal entry in it. We post it, correct? So it goes hand in hand. It is a sequential process. It starts with identification, then after identification, identify, record, categorize, and then summarize. How do we summarize it? We summarize it by making a trial balance, correct? By now, you should be knowing all this. I'm expecting that you all know this, okay? So, trial balance again. Now, trial balance makes the summary of all the ledgers that we have made, right? So, bacho, what is the fifth mistake that you generally do is we make we skip the concept. Skip means, okay, journal entries I am thorough with. Identification also I can do. Journal entries also I can do. Now I'm finding ledger posting boring. Let me skip that. Now tell me one thing. If you skip your ledger posting, if you do not understand how the ledgers are being made, what will happen? Will you be able to make your trial balance? Just think about it. No. Okay, you won't be able to make your trial balance because trial balance is made only from the ledgers. If you have skipped your step of making ledgers, how to make the ledgers, you won't be able to make your trial balance, that's for sure. Alright, so my suggestion to you is, please don't skip any of the concepts. Just go. See, I understand that sometimes a few concepts we are not confident in. We do not understand a few concepts, or we do not understand all the concept with the same speed in the same time, right? We take time. For example, to understand identification, I took only 5 minutes. In 5 minutes I understood how to identify a business transaction that we record in the books of accounts. But while learning about the journal entries, I took more time because journal entries is little I found confusing. And what did I do? I took more time to understand it. That's okay. If you are taking more time to understand a particular topic, that is okay. Don't just get panic and say that, oh, it is very difficult for me, I'm not able to understand it, let me skip the concept. No, don't do that, because skipping a concept is like you are skipping a ladder. What will happen? You will fall down. If you skip a ladder, you will fall down, right? Similarly, if you skip any of the concept in the accounting journey, what will happen? You will not reach your destination, you will not score good, that's for sure. Okay, because you have missed a ladder, missed a step in the ladder, you will fall down for sure. Okay, so if you are even if you are taking time in any to understand any particular topic, that is absolutely okay, but just think, you are building upon your foundation. So for few topics you might take a very less time, for other topics you might take more time, that's okay. Okay, what is important is you have to understand it to the core, understand your concept to the core, that is what is important. Okay, how much time you are taking, how many efforts are you making to solve a question, that is, that is again adding to your success. Don't feel that, okay, I am taking so much of time, that means that this subject is not my cup of tea. Don't think it like that. Okay, so even if you are taking more time to understand a concept, that is absolutely okay. Go ahead, try to understand it and see how it is coming. All right, so again I would say that please take time, understand it nicely, spend time with the subject, spend time with the question, and then go ahead. All right, and once you have developed a habit of understanding and moving, applying and moving in the accounting journey or any other journey, you will feel that the journey is so beautiful and it's a cakewalk for you. That's a promise. Okay, all right, now let's have a fun time. Let me ask you a question. Let me see who will answer it. If you know by any chance, tell me something. Do you know who introduced accounting? Any idea about it? Who introduced accounting? You do not know? Just give me a anyone? Shobha has written it. Correct. Very nice, Shobha. Hats off to you. Very nice. Very few people know that who introduced accounting. It is introduced by Luisa Pacioli. Absolutely right. Shobha, a thumbs up for you. Very nice. All right. Now tell me, should I ask you one more question? All right. No problem. Okay, so if I ask you, do you have any doubt, any question, or any concept or sub concept that you want to make clear during my live session? I would be happy to answer. Please let me know if you have any concept, any topic that you want me to explain it right away live. Okay, okay. Shobha has asked me accounting equation. Okay. Accounting equation, what is accounting equation, Shobha? Do you have any idea about it? What is accounting equation? See, accounting equation is, as the name suggests, it's an equation wherein we have the LHS side and the RHS side. The LHS side says that asset is equal to liabilities plus capital. Okay, why is it so? Liabilities should be equal, liabilities and capital should be equal to the asset. Now, to why the equation came into existence, have you ever thought over it? See, when I say, okay, let's talk about the capital first. What is capital? Capital is the amount that is invested by the owner of a business to start his business, of course, right? That is capital. Now, capital is that money which has been introduced by the owner himself of the business. Okay. Now, what is liability? Liability is that money which you borrow it from outsiders. Outsiders means any bank or any business institute, oh sorry, financial institution. Correct? So, when you have borrowed money, why do you borrow it? You borrow money because you feel that whatever money you have to start your business is not sufficient to start your business, right? And that's when you go to the bank or any other financial institution and ask for help. Okay, ask for financial assistance, and that is where the loan comes into place. You have gone to the bank asking for a loan. Bank has given you a loan. So that particular money which you have borrowed from the bank, do you think is it your money or is it the money that you have to return back to the bank? Right? It is your liability. So you have to return that money to the bank which you have borrowed, and not only that money, you have to return it with the interest. You have to return it with the with more amount, more value. Suppose you have taken a loan of 100,000, 1 lakh rupees. So when you are returning it to the bank, you have to return it with interest, right? So that makes your liability. So whatever money you have borrowed from the bank plus, so borrowed money from the bank plus your own money, that is capital. Now it is a complete pool of money, right? Now, out of this pool of money, what are you going to do for your business? You are going to make your assets first. Then you are going to run your business, correct? So, out of this pool of money, you are making your assets with which you are going to run your business, correct? So, that is the reason. And you cannot lie, I mean, you cannot keep your money that you have borrowed from the bank You cannot keep it idle. You cannot keep it in your bank account just for the sake of it, right? You have to start using it to run your business, and that is when the business will give you revenue. You will earn revenue from the business, using which you are going to return the money to the bank and the interest along with it, right? So that is why the money that you have borrowed plus your own money, that is capital, should always be equal to the assets. You cannot keep your money idle. Idle means just lying it without you're not using it. That is what idle is. Okay, so that is why accounting equation comes into existence, and this equation should always be equal. Since the name says equation, so that equality should always be there. Okay, equality should always be there. Am I clear? Okay, now for every transaction that we do, like for example, if I say Rohan introduced capital to the business, what will happen? Rohan introduced capital to the business. There are two aspects which are coming into place. One is capital, and another one is cash, because he is bringing in cash to the business. Am I right? Okay, so this cash which is coming into the business should be recorded at two places so that my equation will always be equal. Now how am I going to do it? See, when Rohan is bringing in capital to the business, what will happen? Cash will increase because cash has come in, and my capital will also increase. Rohan's capital will also increase. So, on the liability side, on the left side, where I have written capital, I will increase the money with whatever amount he is bringing in, and on the asset side, I will increase the cash. So, again, the equation is balanced, equation is same. Am I clear? Okay, now for example, if I give you another example, let's say Rohan is paying salary to his staff. What will happen at this time? Rohan is paying salary. Okay, now salary is an expense. When Now assume yourself as Rohan, you are paying salary to your staff member. So what is happening from your business? Cash is going out, correct? So cash is going out, so you will minus the cash on the asset side. And what else is happening? Your capital is also going down because you are making an expense. You are spending some money as an expense. So your capital will also fall down on the left hand side, and on the right hand side your asset under cash will also fall down. Now again the equation is balanced, right? So this is how you have to see, you have to understand, and you have to apply your understanding of the concept to practice accounting equation. Accounting equation is nothing but a balance sheet. Children, when you go ahead in your accountancy journey, you will learn about, hello champs, who has joined in just now? Could you please mention your name, your place where are you joining from, and your grade also, 11th or 12th? Okay, so I was saying, children, when you will go in your accounting journey, you will learn a concept which is called balance sheet. Okay, so balance sheet, this accounting equation which we discussed just now, it is nothing but the balance sheet only. When we are going to make the balance sheet, on the left hand side we are going to show the liabilities and the capital, and on the right hand side we are going to show the assets. Okay, so your balance sheet should always be tallied. That is what an accounting equation is, because accounting equation says the left hand side should always be equal to the right hand side, and so is the balance sheet. Balance sheet also says that your liabilities and capital should always be equal to the assets. I hope I am clear with this. Any question related to balance sheet or accounting equation, please ask. Okay. Okay, Shobha, good to hear that you don't have any other doubt with regard to accounting equation. All right. Now, it's a quiz time. Let me ask you a question. Okay, tell me which account is debited. Which account is debited in a particular transaction? If I say that a business purchased furniture for cash, which account will be debited? Can you tell me? Business purchased furniture for cash, which account will be debited? Let me see who answers it first. Yes, anyone? Yes, Shobha, it's furniture account. Absolutely right. Bang on. Absolutely right. It's furniture account. And which account is credited here? Can you tell me which account is credited? Which account is credited here in the transaction? Purchased furniture for cash. Cash account. Absolutely right. Bang on. Bang on, Shobha. Very much impressed with you. Okay, then. Okay, so in today's session, I hope it is now it is little clear to you. Okay, so before we go ahead, let me ask you one more question. What is the purpose of making a trial balance? Why do we make a trial balance? Any idea about it? Why do we make a trial balance? Just now we discussed, if you just memorize the definition of accounting, you can get the idea what is the purpose. Why do we make a trial balance? Anyone? Why do we make a trial balance? What is the purpose of making it? Anyone? Hello champs, where are you joining from? Please mention in the chat box. Which grade are you in? Yes, Shobha, very nice. What is the purpose of making a trial balance? It's the idea is that we have to make a summary of the business transactions. Absolutely right. Very well done, Shobha. Okay. Now, if you have any question or any doubt, I would be happy to answer. Before I end the session, or before I end the session, we can have a few more questions on what we have learned today. May I know the name with which the journals are called? What is the other name for journal? What do we call it? Journal. Other than journal, what is the other name for it? Anyone? Yes, anyone? What is the other name for journal? Hello, champs. Where are you joining from? Yes, I asked you one question. What is the other name for journal? Anyone? Book of original entry. Absolutely right, Shobha. Bang on. Very well done. Yes, the other name for journal is book of original entry. Absolutely right. Okay. Any doubt do you have, Shobha? Any other doubt that you want to ask or you want to clarify? No. Okay. Okay. Fine. Very well. Very good. Okay. One more question. If I ask you, debit should always be equal to, yes. Good morning. Fun with Patel. Where are you joining from and which grade are you in? Okay. So another question. I mean, you have to fill this gap. Debit should always be equal to what? Debit should always be equal to dash. Yes, Shobha, would you like to answer this? Yes, debit should always be equal to credit. Absolutely right. Very well done, Shobha. Okay, one more question coming your way. Which account is credited when the owner introduces capital or cash into the business? Which account is credited? When an owner introduces capital or cash into the business, which account do we credit? Which account do we credit when the owner introduces cash into the business? Yes, capital account. Very well done. Yes, Shobha. Absolutely right. Now, the last question of the today's session. Can a trial balance tally if even if there are mistakes? Yes or no? Can a trial balance tally even if can a trial balance tally even if there are mistakes? Yes or no? What do you think? मिस्टेक्स होने के बावजूद भी क्या आपकी ट्रायल बैलेंस कभी टैली हो सकती है? दैट इज़ द क्वेश्चन. व्हाट डू यू थिंक? यस, हो सकती है या नहीं? यस, एब्सोल्युटली राइट शोभा. हो सकती है, हमारी ट्रायल बैलेंस टैली हो सकती है, मिस्टेक्स होने के बावजूद भी टैली हो सकती है. ओके, सो आप जब क्वेश्चंस करेंगे ट्रायल बैलेंस से, यू कैन जस्ट आस्क योर टीचर what is that situation when there is an error, even then the trial balance is tallied. Okay, तो आप पूछ सकते हैं. अगर आपको फिर भी कोई डाउट हो तो आप मेरे चैनल पे जाके वीडियो देख सकते हैं ट्रायल बैलेंस का, एंड इट विल हेल्प यू. ओके. Okay, now let's see who becomes the champion, commerce champion for today. Let me see that. Okay, so the last questions coming your way. Which account is debited when goods are purchased for cash? Which account is debited when goods are purchased for cash? Let me see who is the commerce champion for the day. Which account is debited when the goods are purchased for cash? Purchases. Absolutely right, Shobha. You are the master of the day. You are the commerce champ for the day. Bang on. Absolutely right. Okay. So, I hope आपको आज का सेशन इन्फॉर्मेटिव लगा होगा, हेल्पफुल लगा होगा. ओके, तो मुझे आप बताइएगा चैट बॉक्स में कि नेक्स्ट लाइव सेशन में किस टॉपिक पर लेकर आऊँ. आई वुड बी हैप्पी टू कम अप विद दैट पर्टिकुलर डिस्कशन that can help you in your commerce journey. Okay, so for now, just signing off, and I hope आज का सेशन आपके लिए अच्छा रहा होगा, इन्फॉर्मेटिव रहा होगा. द वे आई हैव एन्जॉयड टुडेज सेशन, आई होप आपने भी एन्जॉय किया होगा. ओके, तो मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट सेशन में विद मोर concept, with more information, with more tips. All right, so see you in the next session. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.